In this module, we're going to do a high-level overview of 3 different methodologies. But the thought here in the beginning is, don't be a MacGyver. Let's select the correct methodology for the initiative that we're working on. We'll select the correct tool out of the toolbox for the problem that we're working on or the activity that's taking place. So these are the 3 we're going to talk about. A3 thinking, plan, do, check, act. Lean Six Sigma DMAIC, define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. And design for Lean Six Sigma DMADV, define, measure, analyze, design, and verify. So we'll talk about these at a very high level. But let's start with aligning these methodologies. The planning phase of the A3 thinking PDCA aligns with the define, measure, analyze of the other 2. The do phase of A3 thinking PDCA aligns with the improve or the design phase of the other 2. And the check act aligns with the control or verify phase. So there are other methods to consider. There's Shannon, there's 8D, there's Kepner-Trago, as well as others. But we're going to limit it to these 3 at a very high level. So let's look at this from the perspective of forward-looking and backward-looking. Lean Six Sigma DMAIC is a backward-looking methodology. It looks at defects that have already occurred. If there is a problem, we may use Lean Six Sigma DMAIC to solve that problem and implement solutions. Design for Lean Six Sigma DMADV is forward-looking. We are going to design a new product or service or process that is defect-free. A3 thinking, PDCA, Plan, Do, Check, Act, can be used for either backward or forward looking, as well as just implementing solutions. PDCA is a very versatile methodology. And the umbrella to this is using project management rigor and discipline, regardless of which of these 3 you use. And we'll take a look at a decision-making diagram. So do we have a problem-solving opportunity, and is the solution known? If the solution is known, then just fix it. Don't launch any complicated methodology at all. If the solution is not known, is it a new product, process, or service? If the answer is no, we'll use either A3 thinking PDCA or Lean Six Sigma DMAIC. If the answer is yes, we still may use A3 thinking PDCA, or we might use Design for Lean Six Sigma DMADV. It depends on the complexity of whether you use A3 thinking or the Six Sigma methodologies. Now, either way will determine, is the problem solved? If the answer is no, we go back to this decision-making process and continue the work. If the answer is yes, we should close out and celebrate. So let's start with A3 thinking. All these are going to look like continuous improvement methodologies. This is the storyboard for A3 report layout with Plan, Do, Check, Act. First, we'll have the background. Why work on the problem? When and where did the problem start? We'll have the current state. We'll define the problem and depict the current process. We'll have our goals and objectives. What constitutes success and when will it be completed? We'll have our root cause analysis with cause and effect diagram or fishbone diagram and our 5 why root cause analysis. This is the planning phase. When we go into the do phase, we'll have our future state with countermeasures. We'll depict the future process, who, what, when. We'll move to the check phase. We'll check our results. We'll see if the impacts achieve the desired results. We'll use measures and metrics and control charts and scorecards. In the act phase, we conduct follow-up. We'll do our training. We'll adjust as required. And then we'll continue to do the process again for continuous improvement. In Lean Six Sigma, or DMAIC, we're going to have 2 major elements. We're going to characterize the current state with define, measure, analyze, and then we're going to define, implement, and sustain the future state with improve and control. In the define phase, we're creating our project charter with our goals and our project plan and our communication plan. In the measure phase, we'll create our process maps. We'll use cause and effect analysis. We'll collect data. We'll look at baseline KPIs and process capability. In the analyze phase, we'll do statistical analysis and graphical analysis. We'll get to the root cause. In the improve phase, we'll look at potential solutions. We'll evaluate, select, and pilot those solutions. We'll define what the future state should look like. We'll implement lean techniques. We'll utilize failure modes and effects analysis, possibly design of experiments. We'll have an implementation plan. In the control phase, we'll have our control plan, and we may use air proofing or standard work. We'll ensure that there's sustainment of the improvement. We'll have project sign-off and celebration. Design for Lean Six Sigma. Again, we'll characterize the customer requirements with define, measure, analyze. Then we'll design, develop, deploy, and verify our solution with design and verify. So in the define phase, we'll have our charter, our project plan, we'll understand our stakeholders and our communication plan. In the measure phase, we'll have our voice of customer requirements. We'll have our critical to quality and critical to customer. We'll use affinity diagrams. We'll use tree diagrams, Kano, voice of competitor and voice of business. In the analyze, we'll start with quality functional deployment or house of quality 1. We may use Kano models. We'll have a performance scorecard. As we move into design, we'll design for everything. We'll use transfer functions, concept generation. We'll use Pew matrix. We'll use design failure modes and effects analysis, as well as process failure modes and effects analysis. We'll move through QFD 2 and QFD 3, House 2 and House of Quality 3. We'll have a process scorecard. In the verify phase, we'll use lean value stream. We'll use quality function deployment, House of Quality 4, and have a summary scorecard. And finally, a control plan. And we'll also use air proofing, standard work, response chains, with sustainment of whatever it is we've implemented. And finally, a project sign-off with celebration. So again, that was a high level of 3 methodologies: A3 thinking, Lean Six Sigma, and design for Lean Six Sigma. Don't forget to download your complimentary Excel toolboxes at valuegenerationpartners.com. Find the downloads page, and you can download any of these toolboxes for any of these types of initiatives containing templates and tools for many applications. So good luck selecting and executing the methodology appropriate for the initiative you're working on.